Hello everyone! Today we are going to build a bonbon tree nectar farm that only requires power to run indefinitely. Bonbon trees are a new plant in the Frosty Planet Pack DLC that produce nectar when exposed to light. Nectar is useful as a cooling liquid with the temperature range it covers and has a similar thermal conductivity and specific heat capacity to water. It can be boiled or frozen into sucrose and water, but its main use comes from its property as a plastic monomer, which means it is usable in the polymer press to produce plastic. This makes nectar a great alternative to petroleum when it comes to industrial plastic production, because it can be tapped straight from the tree and doesn't need to be refined in any way. This is the design we are going to build today, so let's dim the lights and have a closer look. The Bonbon Tree farm houses 25 wild planted trees sitting in a vacuum that produce a total of 500 kilograms of nectar per cycle. The position of the trees is important because it allows for maximum density while maintaining 100% productivity with all the branches exposed to a constant 10,000 lux or more. This is made possible by the unique shape of the bonbon tree, because it only occupies one tile at its trunk and 6 tiles above it, as opposed to arbor trees that take up 9 tiles. To generate enough light, we use 112 ceiling lights and 17 lamps in order to maintain at least 10,000 lux on every tile that has a branch in it. While this may sound like a lot of lights, the alternatives aren't very appealing. Sun lamps require way too much power, and mercury ceiling lights need to constantly get supplied by liquid mercury, which can only be mined from space POIs sustainably. I did think about building a space greenhouse, but maintaining 100% productivity proved difficult. Maybe in another video. The build is self-cooled with the cold nectar provided by the bonbon trees, and once set up, doesn't require any duplicant interaction whatsoever. The temperature of the released nectar is tied to the temperature of the bonbon tree. However, it does not seem to exceed -35.5 degrees Celsius. For this reason, the natural tiles need to be at least -35.5 degrees cold, but no colder than -75 degrees, or else the trees will stifle. The 500 kilos of nectar per cycle are enough to run one polymer press non-stop and produces 300 kilos of plastic, 5 kilos of water, and 5 kilos of carbon dioxide per cycle. You can either pipe the nectar to your polymer press in your industrial area, or tag on a small compartment like I did, that is self-cooled and automated. The only thing you need to maintain this farm is a constant 1356 watts for the lights, and an additional 540 watts for the polymer press setup, although the autosweeper, conveyor loader and liquid pump don't run constantly. As always, I will provide a cheat sheet with all the numbers at the end of the video. With the preview out of the way, let's get started on how to build this farm step by step. All the materials can be sourced from the starting Ceres Moonlit, and the build uses components unlocked up to the applied science research. The whole structure is 57 tiles wide and 12 tiles high. The compartment with the polymer press is 6 tiles wide and 8 tiles high and can be built anywhere you want. I will put it at the bottom right corner, sharing a wall with the greenhouse. To make the construction easier, I will build a temporary scaffolding, along with a liquid lock and some ladders, then vacuum the area with gas pumps. Once you have a vacuum, remove the equipment. If you can, leave cold natural tiles in these positions. The top row starts at the 4th tile from the right and the 3rd tile off the floor, and then every 4 tiles to the left, until you have 13. The bottom row starts on the floor 6 tiles from the right, and again every 4 tiles to the left until you have 12. If you don't have any natural tiles left in these positions, put down a mold and tell your dupes to build mechanized airlocks and deconstruct them again. Make sure the material you use to build the airlocks with is at least -35.5 degrees Celsius cold, but no colder than -75 degrees, or else your bonbon trees will stifle later. Once all the natural tiles are in place, Put ladders above all of them except the first one, and place down insulated tiles temporarily in the top row and permanently in the bottom row. Now bring in 25 Bonbon Tree seeds and 1 or more pips, and wait until they have planted the first seed. Remove the next closest ladder and repeat this process down the line until all the trees are planted. This process is necessary because of how the logic of pip planting works. They will only plant a seed in a tile if there are no more than 2 other wild plants within a grid 6 tiles left and 6 tiles down, 5 tiles right, 5 tiles up from the tile you want them to plant the seed in. Once all the trees are planted, you can remove the pips and tiles and sweep out the remaining debris. Place down bottle emptiers in between the natural tiles on the floor and have your duplicants bring in any cold liquid. Ethanol works well for this purpose. Duplicants can carry 200 kilos of liquid at a time, so 1 fetch command per bottle emptier is going to be enough. Remove the bottle emptiers and build a regular granite pipe run like this, with aluminum radiant pipes substituted in these positions, as well as conduction panels above the tree line. Include a liquid valve coming from the trees and set its flow rate to 834 grams per second. Later, this will distribute the nectar flow evenly and not in bursts. Add the lamps on the floor in these positions and window tiles with ceiling lights above. They are necessary to boost the lux count in some areas in order to maintain 100% productivity for the trees. Then connect them with conductive wire. The full build can run on 1 conductive wire line, but if you don't have as much refined metal at your disposal, you can split it into 2 regular wire lines as well. Now build the bottom row of window tiles and fill this layer with 5 tons of cooling liquid. Nectar would be best suited, however ethanol works as well. Once the liquid is in, place down the main wire, as well as this part of the cooling loop. And 55 ceiling lights across the top with wires behind them. But don't connect them yet. Then complete the second layer of glass tiles, wires and lights one by one, until you reach 55 ceiling lights again. Close off the frame on the side and open it at the top. Then pour in another 5 tons of your cooling liquid and close the area afterwards. For the polymer press compartment, place down a mini liquid pump, connect it to some wire and build an insulated liquid pipe leading out. Close this area with insulated tiles and mesh tiles. Place down a polymer press out of any material and prepare the cooling loop like this. For the pipes in the room, I use radiant aluminum pipes. Connect an insulated gas pipe and a conductive wire. Then place down an auto sweeper and conveyor loader with the rail leading out. Connect them with conductive wire and remove the ladders in the room. Place down a gas vent with a gas pipe leading in and close the room. Then fill it with hydrogen until the room is fully pressurized with 2 kilos per tile. Remove the corner tile and deconstruct the vent, then reconstruct the corner tile again. While we are waiting for the bonbon trees to grow, prepare a liquid reservoir with a total of 5 tons of cooling liquid in it. Ethanol found in cool pool biomes is perfect for this. Once all the bonbon trees have matured and are ready to develop branches, indicated by the wilted tip of the trees, we enter the next growing phase. Now connect the liquid reservoir to the upper part of the cooling loop and turn on every ceiling light in the bottom row that is directly above a tree from the top row. This will provide enough light for the trees to develop branches in the next 18 cycles, while the temporary coolant keeps the lights at low temperatures. After 18 cycles, the branches should have fully matured, by which point we drain the temporary coolant and connect the original cooling loop. Now you will need to plug in all the remaining lights, illuminating every tile that has a branch in it with at least 10,000 lux, and promoting nectar production at 100% capacity, which per tree equates to 20 kilos per cycle. Since there are 25 trees, we now produce 500 kilos of nectar per cycle, enough to run a polymer press continuously. You can ship the water and plastic wherever you need it in your base, and either vent the carbon dioxide into space or store it for another purpose. Also, if you need access to nectar, you can always tap the cooling loop like this and temporarily stop the plastic production. That's gonna do it for this showcase. If you have any questions on this build, feel free to ask away in the comment section below and let me know if you want to see a specific topic covered next. If you haven't already, check out my other guides and subscribe for more content like this. As always, here's the cheat sheet with all the numbers for this build. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next time. Bye!